So you gotta fire up, you gotta let go. You never be loved till you lay you alone. You gotta face up.
What's up, everybody? It's Reboot Warrior here for Monday. Today is day 18, I think, and it's going quite well for the most part. I had an absolutely fantastic weekend. I got to spend some time with some people that I didn't know as well, but I kind of got to know. Kind of a friend of a friend. And it was really fun. But anyway, the point of this video, I guess, is success stories. I'll figure out what to call it later, but there's a topic on NoFap that I want to address. It is called... It's a success story called 90 plus days free, I can see colors again. Not sure if he literally meant that, probably not. But this is something that I think was really cool. There's a couple of insights he shared that I really want to go into detail into a little bit. So I'll just kind of briefly read over this. My story is typical. I watched porn for the first time when I was 10 or 11. Same here, bro. Since then, pornography has accompanied me for 16 years. I don't want to go deeply into the details. You all know how it is. I've been struggling for years. I had a couple of decent streaks, but every time addiction found a way to confuse my spirit, mind, and body. Where am I now? This year I'll be 28. The last 3 months were different. I've made it. I was able to start a process of real change for good. I feel it deeply inside. The moment is decisive. If you go through it, you'll never come back to darkness. You know how brightness looks and feels now. There's no way back. I can never relate with this story a little bit, just this part, because in my recovery, I feel like I've had to change myself a lot in different ways. I'm not near the same person I was 18 months ago when I started this recovery. I have completely changed, and I still got a ways to go, but nonetheless, I have made good progress. Let me just skip over some details here. Let me just kind of read like this part here. So basically, he goes to this party, he relapses, this girl texts him, I guess because he had spent time with her, and he realized that, like, he could have almost blown it, so he says now, "We have the most amazing relationship now. I told her my story and allowed her to reject me, but it didn't happen. In the beginning, I wasn't the best lover, and guess what? She didn't break up with me because of my little bed experience. What's more, she waited for her readiness to do it. And guys, trust me, relationships are not only about sex. Blah, blah, blah." Yeah, that is true. "I fought against all my worst fears and nightmares. At the same time, I've allowed my heart to feel and my eyes to cry. I was the most honest guy I could be. I dropped my mask of cynicism, posturing, and showing off. I let myself be who I really was. That's the trick. For all these years, I've played a role of a guy who was strong, role of a guy you cannot hurt. A guy who was too brilliant to allow anyone to get closer to him. A guy who hid a sticky, dark secret and who molded his masks from it. It's all about your will. Don't mess it with a willpower to fight against porn addiction. It's about your will to open your heart, to drop your masks of self-destruction, to show your sensitivity, and allow yourself to become vulnerable. The will to be the way you really are, especially if you feel weak." I just really like this because he actually talks about something that all addicts can relate to, in the fact that everybody kind of has this mask on when they're an addict. They live two separate lives. On the one hand, they, pretend everything's okay and there's nothing wrong with them, and they hide it. On the other side, you have the dark secrets that you hide and you do behind closed doors. And I lived like that for close to 6 years. Actually, 5 years, not 6 years. But I lived that way for 5 years, and when finally addiction came out of the dark, when I finally first told my ecclesiastical leader, and eventually a few months later my parents, it was kind of freeing, because no longer was I in the dark. I mean, even to this day, I'm still accountable to my parents and to a friend or two that I've told about this addiction that I trust immensely. And then I have my accountability partners that I confide with on NoFap and stuff. So there's that too. So I'm just really, really thankful to be out of that stage And the other thing that I was going to mention, I fought against all my worst fears and nightmares. At the same time, I've allowed my heart to feel, my eyes to cry. I find that interesting because I remember when I was in that relationship with Cassidy, I don't think I've ever felt so many emotions in my life. Like, in those 2 months that I was with her, I feel like I was so emotional. It was ridiculous. Like, particularly, like, if things got bad, like, if she was having a bad day, I'd have a bad day, pretty much. It's almost like we were in perfect sync with each other. It was really weird. But the point is, I got to the point where, I was feeling so many emotions, and when things were getting tough and we're about to break it off, like, I was legitimately getting so mad. Like, I don't normally get mad for any reason. Like, I'm not that kind of person. But, like, with her, like, when she would drive me crazy, like, I would just get so freaking mad. Like, it was really weird. Like, I hadn't experienced anything like that before. So, really, really interesting stuff. But, yeah, guys, the lesson to be learned here is, I'm talking about personal experience here now. I'm not talking about this guy. Recovery takes time. I mean, he said it himself. 16 years, this guy, and I've been enslaved for 7 years. And I'm still not out of it yet. I'm getting close, but I'm not out of it yet. And so the lesson learned is recovery is gradual. If you are not succeeding at this very moment, do not panic. Because I have had those times where I felt so out of control with my addiction. In fact, even the last few months, I've had times where I felt like my addiction was out of control. And I had to tone it down. There were times that I could barely go 4 days without a relapse. I mean, I know that might sound crazy for just barely starting out, but for me, it was a big deal. So it was like I've gradually, over the course of 18 months or so, probably more actually, probably 20 months, it's gotten to the point where I can finally get those long streaks again. I mean, I'm very surprised how easy it has been for me to be able to maintain these long streaks. So, yeah, I should have probably turned that off a while ago. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I have 2 videos coming up today. Hopefully I'll be able to get at least this one up. And the other one is a surprise. I think you'll like it. It's a compilation. That's all I'll say. But yeah, give this video a big like if it helped you. And subscribe down below if you want to be updated on my content. And leave a comment down below your success story if you have one. If you don't have one, then comment your progress that you've made in your addiction recovery. But be strong, guys. Stay sober. And I'll see you all tomorrow for day 19. Bye.